know what you mean, Jelly Bean.
All right. So how did you find out about the spectrum? Or like what made you reach out to me and mention that? Or like, did you know that, did you see that I stated I was, or is it because of autism a mermaid, or what?
You know that person that I told you been helping me with everything?
Yeah.
Nikki. Apparently he was either diagnosed or familiar with these symptoms. He knows 2 other people that we hung out with that were Aspies. And like, he was just like, you have really Aspie traits. And then I got mad about him. I got mad at him for using sarcasm. And then he's like, that's a really Aspie thing. That not being able to recognize
It's true. Well, yeah, man. But you also should look up female Asperger traits, though, because...
Yeah, that's the article that I sent to you.
I know.
I identified
I
so
shared
many
that
points.
one, so I wasn't sure.
I don't know. I found that one on my own because I was researching because I wanted to know more because it felt like...
Home?
No, it felt like the thing that I finally was trying to find that wrong or different or like that I'm not getting right. There's something I'm not getting right. I've known it all my life, and that felt right. All those points. Like I identified with so many of those points, and it was just chilling.
Yep. That's how it was when I first discovered it. And I kind of just went obsessive to the point where I bought a mermaid tail dedicated to the cause. Yet at the same time, like, I'm coming out as a person that says that they have this, right? Yet at the same time, like, I haven't been diagnosed, but yeah, I resonate with a lot of those things.
I want to, like, I don't know, I haven't been diagnosed either, but I would like to be, like, if that's the correct thing.
Right?
Because it just fits the bill. Like, I've never felt something so accurate in my
I felt the
entire
same
life.
way. Whenever I brought it up to people, though, like, people automatically told me I didn't have it. They didn't believe me.
Jordan was like, if you're an Aspie, then I'm an Aspie too. I'm like...
He probably is.
Well, I'm not... First of all, I'm not
Well,
sure.
look at how boys are instead. She has the same similar behavior
that's
traits.
What I think. He was like, I identify with those things. I'm like, that one article was for girls. You have to look at, the symptoms for boys.
Well, he's also... But think about it, though. He has
He's very
strong
feminine energy.
Yeah. So he always hangs out with girls, so he imitates them, right? Because that's how Aspie girls act. The reason, because we emulate what we see in society in some aspect. Like that's why we get away with like that. We have it because what are we doing? We're imitating. We're like, oh, we saw this little girl did that, so we're gonna act just like that.
Shit, he might be an Aspie then.
But to me, he had the masculine qualities, you could say, of Aspie too. Like, think about how he can be emotionally cold or just like dark and silent, and he's like, it's like they're not even mindful. Like, it doesn't, like, he's not doing it to hurt your feelings. It's just he's just
not there.
He's him. He's exactly, But that didn't mean he did not care about you or whatever. Like, he just had Asperger's. I definitely think that a lot more people are on the spectrum now, and I do admit that I definitely think that it has to be chemically induced, to be honest. I think that it's been messed in our foods and it's messed in our water, and things have kind of fragmented our mind to like shift a different way. Like almost like a social experiment, you could say, but at the same time, it's just like from a bigger person standpoint, it's wise. Like, think about it. Imagine me and you, we literally have to control billions of people. Like, would it not be wise to, in somewhat, like, give them, like, certain nutrients or whatever through the water that changes them to be, like, more like this or more focused or tapped in or whatever? It goes really deep. And, like, the chemicals thing is most insane, and I think you'd really enjoy it actually if I showed you this Aldous Huxley thing that's all about the chemicals, and it has to do with Orwell. Orwell and Huxley were like BFFs. I don't know if you know that.
I do not.
Yeah. You familiar with Edward Bernays?
No, I am not.
What about Sigmund Freud?
I'm familiar with Sigmund Freud.
Edward Bernays is Sigmund Freud's brother-in-law. Married his sister.
Okay.
So in some ways they're tight too.
Did he also study like psychology?
Kind of. He created this book called Propaganda. And in the book Propaganda, he teaches the 3 ways that you control the people. Through fear, sex, and the power of persuasion. Think about it, fear commercials. Like, a commercial that kind of makes you scared, like, oh my god, do I have this illness? Or, oh my god, I think I'm depressed, maybe I should take that.
Or like, don't smoke cigarettes, they'll give you cancer.
Or go get McDonald's, or whatever it's controlling you and telling you to do.
Yeah.
Or feel emotionally this way because we show you this on television through this dramatic television series kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
save these puppies.
Yeah, pay now. We will donate 10 cents for every dollar you donate to us.
Yeah.
Finally. Yeah. Yo, I learned about this thing. It's called a sideways contract.
What is a sideways contract?
Okay, have you ever heard of reading between the lines?
Yes.
Okay, so do you know that means if I give you a contract right now and we print it, and if it says something, it's going to say something vertically. Or maybe vertically isn't the proper word. It's sideways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what a crossword puzzle is kind of like that? Like, you can slip in subliminal messages inside a contract, essentially, and it's still legal if it's signed.
That's interesting. Like, okay, so
beware.
So you're talking about if like a contract, if a contract is written this way, but on the edge that there's a hidden message or something.
Yeah, it still works. It's still legal in court, and it's the same thing like on the computer, to be honest. It was a lot easier. So think about how many boxes have you checked on the computer, okay, just because you didn't want to read it. And it's kind of like you're signing permission away that they can watch you or whatever they're choosing to do.
Man, this is fucking creepy. Chills.
I mean, it's in their mind, it's wise. Like, keep an eye and control on the people. You want to keep an eye out for these certain words or these certain things. Or, like, what are these people planning on working? Or, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. Control the population. See what I'm saying? And, like, with the stimuli that they choose to push. What stimuli do you know the most of? Fear? What's the lowest vibration on Earth? Fear. What's the highest vibration on Earth?
Love.
Yeah. Love. Yeah, but seriously, do you ever wake up tired in the morning?
I feel like that, like Sailor Moon power stance when you said that.
I had to muster so hard to get that out of me in some aspects. Shut up. I definitely bounced back between like being super like sweet girl and then being like, hey. Like, I'm totally that person that if we're hanging out and like if somebody's trying to fuck with you, I'll instantly be that girl that acts like, hey, that's my girl. Like, just try to like you know, just scared. Play possum, you could say. But sometimes I felt like I had to get that way just because, like I felt like a lot of people were like, I guess you could say in some aspects inappropriate. But at the same time, it's hard to say, like, who has control over someone else's behavior. Though at the same time, I imagine the hugest thing that isn't pushed is the power of, you could say, personal space or whatever. But it sucks because the confinements that we were forced in, it was like we were all forced. I don't know, it's complicated. But at the same time, have you noticed that there's kind of been like an agenda that seems like they're trying to push like everyone not to love and they want people to be more fearful? Or like, don't you see that seems like a more common push theme? Like, love is forbidden, it seems like. It seems like it's a curse on the planet or something like no one's allowed to love and there's no more making love and having babies. Or like they're trying to take that essence away. Like I think about maybe the chemicals, how like suddenly male fertility rates are dropping fast.
There's so much division and just negative energy and like hate and terror. Like just that can't be a coincidence. It's collective, you know?
Oh man, it's sensory overload, dude. I mean, you used to actually, you gave me a lot of my words that kind of helped me express who I am or how I'm feeling without words. I don't know, like, what's funny though is like, I guess the S, or the S, or whatever, it's really hard to communicate that.
I didn't know that was a heart sound vibration. That's just my laugh.
It's also intense though if you think about that and if you do your homework. Though at the same time, you know, there's other words or sounds that go with other associations, you could say. So it does run really, really deep.
Did you find out if myrrh has an association?
Well, it's so funny that you said myrrh because that's exactly the thing I was mentioning before when I told you that you gave me certain things. Myrrh is definitely a thing that helps it. Like, it's funny because I was already a mermaid, so whenever hearing you say myrrh, so sometimes like when I couldn't talk, if I just went myrrh, like some people could understand my different myrrhs, like myrrh.
Yeah.
Myrrh. Myrrh. Yeah, myrrh. You know, I mean that's just one thing, but I remember you saying a lot of other things though. Like, I'll admit, like, I have, like, my own, abuse was the great word that, was powerful for today, you could say.
It can't be any other way when, I mean, for instance, just... I mean, I love her because she's my mother, because I came from her, but, like, she only extends love to me really, like, and affection when I'm, like, pleasing her. Like, her love is conditional, and I feel it. And that's not how it's supposed to be. I mean, at least your mother's supposed to be a source of your mother's supposed to be your mother. Like, I don't, she's not. Like, she loves me under certain conditions.
And what conditions?
Like,
you think that of your own mother? Have you told her this?
Is she
the Scorpio?
No, she's not the Scorpio. She's a Taurus.
So you think your mom only loves you because you do things for her?
Yeah, and also because I remind her of herself in ways.
So what if she felt the exact same way towards you?
What, that I only love her because...
Yeah. Because she took care of you. And because, I don't know. I don't know what your mom was doing. I mean, I just saw her for just a few seconds. I'm like, I don't even know what to make of that.
I don't know how I feel about my mom. I can be polite and cordial all I wish, but that is the shell I wear so as to not create conflict and tension. Otherwise, it's just conflict and tension.
You're the youngest, right?
I'm the only.
You're the leader of the pack. Like, you kind of are meant to, like, teach everyone.
I'm the only child.
You're still the leader of the pack. Yeah.
I guess.
Of the mom and dad. They've never seen anything like you before. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know what to make of it, and, like, you're their creation.
I guess.
And, like, they just didn't understand.
The only time
But they didn't understand themselves either.
The only time my dad extended, like, any communication with me was, like, this year was, like, I don't know, like in April or some shit. And then he asked me, so how's Colorado?
You went to Colorado?
No, I never went to Colorado. I was supposed to be going to Colorado to move with Jordan. But, like, that's how he